我的 PSLE result 是差不多120多，老师还讲我 fail。I feel like this might be the end for me 了。I got no other place to go。
他个挂糖赛那款，你不要读，你不要浪费我的钱。这是我当时我妈妈对我说的话。为什么一直有这么多人觉得我很差呢？那我一定是很差，那我就接受了这个事实，也甚至把它变成了我的命运。
好的话就80分90分吧。
那它就是一块敲门砖了。那你没有这个文凭的话，你到哪去应聘？人家首先看你的文凭了。
各科成绩都重要了。
It's important to go into a good school. No such thing as every school is a good school, you know.
当然是希望他当名校。
我是王建义。Slowly move back by back, because I'm getting all the RS3 to move back. 以前我什么东西都不懂，而且我的数学真的很差，我英文也是不是这么好，我华语更差，因为我真的会很伤心啊。我觉得好像 failure 这样 ，I go slowly 哦 ，slowly learn.
I would like to invite Miss Belinda Lee.
Thank you so much for having me. I will share a little bit as to why I was such an unhappy child and why my grades were not great. 我小学时候的成绩很差很差耶，我的数学是100分，我考7分而已哦。我的成绩很差，也因为我没有补习，我非常不喜欢去学校。这就是我的老家了。就是这边。
李星玉出生就被寄养在亲戚家，3、4岁才回到父母身边。成绩差，部分原因是他觉得不被疼爱，所以无心念书，在学校也觉得抬不起头。
全校都知道我的成绩，我也开始成为很多人的笑话。家人会告诉我说，你是一个很失败的人之类的这些比较负面的字眼，所以在整个成长的过程就变成了一个非常没有信心的人。我去到哪里都觉得很害怕，我的成绩也好，还是我处事待人的态度也好，很明显的看得出我是一个问题小孩。我们没有什么钱嘛，以前我的校服是天蓝色的，从天蓝色穿到变浅蓝灰蓝色，那白色的衬衫就会从白色穿到灰黄色。那有一天呢，一位老师就叫我出来，站在全班的面前，而且是站在凳子上，他就当着大家的面前指着我说 "Don't be like her, she's like a jungle girl." 那个时候的我，好想挖个洞躲起来，从这个地球上消失。我也开始第一次领悟到、感受到什么叫羞辱。 我就开始产生了一个所谓的 orphan's heart， 就是孤儿的心态。
小时候，其实在学校遇到了很多的挫折，我都不敢回家跟父母亲说。我也不需要给他们一个所谓的一个借口说，因为我在学校被人家欺负，所以我的功课不好。不管我好不好，我都不要去告诉别人或麻烦别人。不管我今天到底有没有做错事，反正错的人永远都是我。
My grades were not good enough. I hated school. It was how I felt that the world was against me and people were against me. And I know that I'm also speaking to year 1 to year 3 students.
Okay, we are trying to combine the lighting circuit and the power circuit. So which means to say.
新加坡有2所学校录取小学会考落榜的孩子，北硕学校是其中1所。目标在于通过品德教育、基础学术教育和技能培训，依据孩子的学习进度，栽培他们成为对社会有用的人。王建义今年应考 N 水准英文会考试卷，他担心又会像小6会考那样不及格。
I felt like setting high expectation is a key point to moving forward. I am scared that I'm not able to score as high as I expect.
When Chen Yi first arrived in Northlight School, he looked very tiny, very alone. He had a learning difficulty in trying to understand and grasp concepts fast. Do you think you can handle the stress? Due to his situation at home, finding someone to say you're doing good, you're doing well, is not very often heard by him. Every small thing that he does good, we praise him for it. And we always tell our students that there's always a better version of you, and you will always be able to achieve it if you keep believing in yourself.
Passion is everything to me. I actually started to excel in dance. 从小到大，我一直给人家说我很差，你不会有出人头地的一天。我是在跳舞的时候，感受到我的第一道光芒。
2018年小6会考前夕，本地一群家长在社交网络平台发起一个叫“成绩不代表一切”的倡议，邀请社会名人公开他们的小6会考积分，目的在于改变家长过度强调分数的观念。
There is life beyond grades. There is life beyond grades.
We were concerned about the levels of rising stress, depression, and suicide among our youth in Singapore, and we realized that a lot of it was actually associated to how well kids performed in school. I was a mediocre student at best, but I think I carried that PSLE score with me almost as a shame throughout my adult life. I think that did hold me back a lot. But fortunately, you know, as you grow older, you realize you have other strengths. The world has changed, right? We need to change the way we learn. What our children really need today is to be flexible, adaptable, and to embrace lifelong learning. Let them pursue their passion and their interests. Then I think it really is not about exams.
But not really the potato.
我小时候想要当一位软骨功的表演者。以前电视节目看来看去就是一些杂技表演啊，软骨功好厉害，好神奇哦。
喜欢舒展身体，李新玉申请加入中学的体操队，却不被录取。他在一旁观察体操队半年，自己回家练习，最后打动教练让他入队。后来他又加入舞蹈团。
从小到大，我一直给人家说我很差，想要参与什么都是不会有人给我机会。这个是我觉得我这一辈子一直很需要去争取，要很努力的去做的一件事情。参加舞蹈团 的整个经验让我感受到我的第一道光芒。原来我是有天分的。我跳完舞之后的第2天，有一位老师指着我叫我站起来。那个时候我又想，哎呦，完了，又要被骂了。他就告诉我，你跳得很好，我希望能够继续看你跳舞。I never gave up, no matter what people told me.
When Belinda 来我们的学校的时候 ，because of the emotions and the facial expressions she uses, and it's all very truthful, so it's a great inspiration for me.
I want you to draw the circuit out, and then later on you go and get your.
到现在，我的优点对我说我还没有找到了。The more I progress further, my strength will gradually open up.
He's a good student. I mean, always pay attention. He's very focused. Every time when you ask him to like wire certain thing, he'll try to follow exactly to the point. If let's say he did it wrongly, he'll do it all over again.
I want to prove people wrong. I want them to see me in a certain way that I can achieve something better. I don't want them to see me as a low-grade person.
有风，你风，我风。
要不要猜买力？在担任综艺节目主持人之前，李欣玉是跌跌撞撞地踏入社会的。念到中学5年级，成绩不好，无法继续升学，他就到工厂打工，卖面包和电话卡，分传单，也替人伴舞。感到前途茫茫。
I'm a VJ from MTV. Yeah, I'm an MTV Mandarin VJ.
之所以有机会踏进娱乐圈，是因为21岁那一年，他参加 MTV 亚洲中文 VJ 选拔赛，赢了冠军，突然变成焦点人物。
我记得很清楚，我回到家我就跟我的家人说，我得到了一个大奖。那我妈妈就直接看着我问我一句：“是咪来诶，有擂谈不？”我说有咯，他给我 voucher 了，我还可以出国去旅游了。那个时候我还没有出过国呢。我妈妈一听到这一句而已啊，就直接回房睡觉了。爸爸也直接回房睡觉。那个时候啊，是半夜12点了，我一个人坐在厨房。我还没回到家之前的那个情况是，整个新加坡的娱乐圈围绕着我，访问我。我希望他们看到我是一个有出息的孩子，我不是家人或亲戚朋友所讲的，你是一个不会有出人头地一天的人。
10大最受欢迎女艺人奖，她讲话会很夸张。李欣玉，
我要感谢我的家人，还有很多的朋友，一直不断的在打电话，而且为我投票。
李欣玉得过5次红星大奖10大最受欢迎女艺人奖及2次最佳资讯节目主持人奖，可是她不会演，内心常常觉得不安。
有一次到外头拍摄的时候，有一个安迪吧过来到我面前告诉我，我看到你就讨厌。每一次我看到你的时候啊，我就会转台，因为我看到你啊，笑到像小杂包一样，看了就讨厌。曾经有报章写过一些我的报道，说我是全年最令人讨厌的艺人。我很挣扎，我到底是谁？我是 Belinda 那个所谓的大明星吗？还是我就是那个很没有自信的李欣玉？不管我的事业有多么的辉煌，有多么的多姿多彩，我只需要那么的一个报道 ，Turn off of the year， 它完完全全把我打回小时候的我。
踏入娱乐圈8年后，也就是在29岁那一年，李欣玉接到一份工作，
那我就开始主持了《西游记》。
好，你好。
有一个报章哦，他写了咸鱼翻身，李新玉主持了《西游记》之后，咸鱼翻身。如果你没有放咸鱼，还没事嘞。That means 以前我真的怎么看待我自己，这也是观众怎么看待我吗？
我有 owl coming up soon.
Is this chili pepper ripe? Natalie asked her grandfather.
王建义的父母相继去世，他与哥哥跟奶奶和叔叔同住。他哥哥患有精神疾病，长辈担心哥哥多过担心建义的成绩。
现在我还不懂我 future 会怎样吧，我 step by step 啦，我 take examination 先。and step by step 去 ITE 可以去 Poly 就去 Poly 哦，也可以读我就读了。
And now we're going to take part in this competition. Based on the criteria, we're going to take part in the youth one now. Okay, the pass is to you.
建议是学生理事会的一份子，有机会参与各种事务，这能帮助他一步步建立信心。老师不加责骂或判断，让孩子们在一切努力上得到鼓舞，才有动力奔向成功。
I like 啦 ，great thing。
自信心增强之后，建议在竞争之中变得勇敢。
我打篮球的时候最难的是，可能是我的 height， 他们比较高，比较大只，我很小只。我拿 rebound 的时候，我跳，那他们也是一起跟我跳，他们就 bang 我 from the back。所以我射的时候，我做 layup 的时候，他们也是 block 得了。All these disadvantages， 我小时候的时候，我真的不喜欢，别人看不起我，可能讲哎，最好你不要玩了。But in the end, I got this few batch of 朋友，他们很好的，差不多20多岁，很高很大只，他们叫我来玩。我很 nervous 吧，我 try 一下 ，but 他们很好 pass 我的 ball， 他们叫我快点射，快点射，快点进去。So that's when I develop more trust and more developed to the game lah. I try my best to sleep a lot, eat a lot, and drink lots of milk to grow taller. Never give up. Every day 一直圈到你可以。
2006年，李新玉接到主持资讯娱乐节目《西游记》的工作，到世界各地寻访新加坡人。
我记得跟导播他们开会的时候，他们也跟我说了一句话：我们希望你能够好好的加油，我要你做你自己，可以吗？
I feel very good too because it's a handsome there.
原来能够做回真正的自己，是一件这么快乐的事情。
He hasn't come out,
No.
ever since. How does he shower?
There's no
Do
showers.
his business.
Through the gap, there are gaps.
再见了，再见，拜拜，拜拜。
他们难过的时候，我也会跟着他们难过；他们流泪的时候，我也会跟着他们流泪。我也会陪着他们一起走这条很艰苦的路。我不只是找到了自己内心的一种平安，观众也看到了真正的我。
李新玉后来通过5频道实况节目，为本地低收入的家庭改善他们的家居环境。
哇哦，嗨，奶奶。
他跟一些家庭还有联络。
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
I wish that your family would stay happy and healthy always.
Thank you.
他也不是因为了拍摄而跟我们做朋友，他是真的用他的心来跟我们做朋友。
我的参与感是100%的， 我从小到大所经历的这一切，它是有一个含义的。我能够理解这些家庭的痛苦，是因为唯有在谷底里面，我了解，它让我找到了我的使命，它让我找到了我活着真正的意义是什么。
大半辈子都觉得落在别人后头，李欣玉现在已学会不再看清自己。
我就一直很努力的把每一件事情给做好，因为我知道可能学历不够高，学习能力也比别人慢，所以我必须更加的努力，才能够跟别人平起平坐。不管这些身边的声音有多么的负面，我还是很坚持的，很努力的，很尽力的去跑。
Failing from PSLE, I felt that past failure had a good opportunity for me because I have learned so much about myself. I'll become more of a mature person. I can be successful in whatever I have worked for, and I don't want it to go to waste.
我觉得龟兔赛跑就好像是我人生的一个写照。All my failures in the past, they don't define me and my future. I never gave up. You tell yourself, no matter how difficult, persevere. Persevere. You are at a place where you probably can't see your future. When you ever start losing hope, I hope that you start remembering me. If she can do it, I can do it too. This little life of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. So shine, not light, wherever you go, shine.